Okay, Hare Krishna. Alright, this is a sketch of life and teachings of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We're going to do the whole life, accompanied by, what's your name, Prabhu? Ashish. Ashish is going to play ecstatic harmonium throughout. And we've also got a drummer as well, he'll be playing drum. Throughout the drama. So harm yourself, Prabhu. Alright. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu advented himself in Sridham Mayapur, in the city of Navadweep in Bengal. No. Alright, his father was Jagannath Mishra and his mother was Srimati Sachi Devi. Haribol. And this is little Nimai. And little Nimai would cry as a child. Did anybody imitate a child crying? Okay, keep going, keep going. Child crying. There was only one remedy for the child crying. And that was if the older ladies of the audience would kindly chant Hare Krishna and clap their hands thrice. Thus the baby stopped crying. Thus Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was teaching the Harinam Sankirtan at a very, very early age. Once, a fiery Brahmin was received at the house of Jagannath Mishra.
Bhiksham Dehi! I'm very hungry. My Gopal is also hungry. I do not eat anything which is not offered to Gopal. Bhiksham! Bhiksham!
My dear Brahmana, please come to our house. We've got grains of rice you can cook yourself for Gopal.
Are you sure?
Yes, please.
I'm feeling hungry. I've been traveling for the last 7 days.
But the Brahmana had little time to spare and set up his altar immediately and began offering his bhoga.
My dear Gopal, please accept this offering. I'm so sorry, I haven't offered you anything for quite some time. So please accept this offering.
But as soon as he offered, then little Nimai came in and took the offering and ran away.
Alas! Alas! Alas!
So,
Alas!
What is it? What is it?
That mischievous child, your child, has stolen my bhoga.
I'm
I've
so
been
sorry.
hungry for 7 days.
I'm so sorry. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again. Nimai!
It's already midnight. I'm hungry now.
So the Brahmana tried again the offering. Offering with so much sincerity and devotion. Then the same thing happened.
My dear Gopal, you child! Hey, mischievous!
So this time,
Alas! 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 This child has stolen my offering again.
Jagannath Mishra promised to put the child to sleep.
I'll put the child to sleep.
Alas!
Nimai,
And the Brahmana then made his last offering. But this time everybody in the household was asleep.
My dear Gopal, please accept this offering. This child is causing so many issues. Please accept this. You! Alas! 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 Oh, Krishna, wake up! Wake up!
No, the Brahmana was appalled and began crying.
This child!
But nobody could hear him.
Alas!
But
Alas!
at this point, the Lord appeared before him. And the Lord appeared before him and disclosed his identity as the Supreme Lord.
I'm Krishna.
Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare
that, he also used to play jokes on the neighbouring girls who were engaged in worshipping Shiva in hopes of getting a good husband. They would take handfuls of Ganges water and offer it to the river.
My dear sisters,
Please give me all the
please give me all the offerings you have just brought for Shiva.
No, this is for Shiva. Go away.
Shiva is my devotee.
They refused and said no.
No,
We will not
we're not
worship
going to offer to you.
Then Vishvambara said that he would curse them.
I curse you. I will curse you. You will all marry old men who've had 7 children from previous husbands. Wives.
Why are you cursing us?
Out of fear and love, the girls would offer him various goods. And the Lord would bless them.
You will have good husbands and lots of children.
In this way, the Lord passed his early childhood. And when he was 16 years old, he started his own school. Maharaj. Nimai Pandit Prabhu, here are your students. Are you ready to teach?
I am ready.
What will you be teaching us today?
Sanskrit grammar.
Okay, go ahead. I've been waiting, please. Okay. All right, but during this time, a great scholar called Keshava Kashmiri came to Navadvip to hold discussions on the Shastra. Oh, Keshava Kashmiri.
Keshav Kashmiri, Keshava, 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 Keshava. Why?
Now, why have you come to Navadvip?
Why have you come to Navadvip?
Have you come to defeat Nimai Pandit? Have you come to debate with him?
I heard there is a great pundit here.
Yeah, Nimai Pandit is the best, bro. We should speak
I
to
heard
him.
it. I'm here to defeat him by the Shastras.
Oh, well, this was nothing. And Keshava looked at him and said, "Oh, you're a big scholar. You're a big scholar."
You're a big scholar.
You are a big scholar. Please compose a Sanskrit verse. The praise of the Ganges.
The Pandit composed 100 slokas and then recited them, the verses, like a storm, showing the strength of his vast learning.
Om Gange cha Yamune cha Gange Gange cha Jarge. Om Gange.
Nimai Pandit was not impressed. He memorized all the slokas and then quoted the 64th sloka from memory. But then he pointed out certain literary irregularities.
Your 64th sloka is wrong.
Kashmiri Pandit was struck with wonder. He was struck with wonder and astonished that a mere student could point out so many mistakes.
No way.
He returned home and fell into a deep sleep. In the dream, Sarasvati, the goddess of learning, came mysteriously dancing into the room in the dream. And she said to him,
Nimai Pandit is the Supreme Lord. He's my Lord too. You should serve him and you should surrender to him.
Haribo!
Haribo. Keshava awoke immediately and surrendered to the Lord. The Lord grew older and began to preach the congregational chanting of the holy name of the Lord at Navadweep. But some of the Brahmanas became envious of his popularity and took the matter before the Muslim magistrate. The envious Brahmins. The envious Brahmins, oh, they were terrible people. They're always late, you know. The envious Brahmins, they were always complaining about Nimai Pandits and how he was always chanting the holy names, and they was disgraceful.
Allah! Horrible! Dirty Hindus! You know, my king, what happened? Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar! This dirty Hindus.
The Nawab sang Share.
All of night.
Who these Hindus are? I don't know. This noisy event is just disturbing our peace of mind. Allahu Akbar! Salam! Allahu Akbar! Allah's down! Who is chanting this name in Allah's town? Allahu Akbar! Just go and warn them. If they do it again, I'll personally come and punish them. Inshallah! Allahu Akbar! Allahu Akbar!
The Muslim magistrate of Navadweep, he took the complaints of the Brahmanas seriously, as first he warned the followers of Nimai Pandit not to chant loudly the names of Hari.
All of you, I warn you today. Do not chant. Soldiers, I warn you today. If you repeat this again, I will personally punish you and break your mridanga. No more Krishna. Allahu Akbar! Allah! Allah!
The Lord Chaitanya asked his followers to disobey the orders of the Kazi, and they went on with the Sankirtan party as usual.
I warn you all! If you do it again, I'm gonna kill you and your whole family. No one in this Allah's town chanting the name of the Hindu god. Nobody! Now you go! This is the last warning from Chandakazi. Allahu Akbar! Allah!
Hare Krishna.
Allahu Akbar!
Haribo! Hare Krishna!
Hare Krishna!
Hare Krishna.
Nimai Pandit organized a party for civil disobedience, leading a procession of 100,000 men with 1,000 mridangas and cartels.
Hare Krishna.
they arrived at the house of the Chankazi and displayed violent temper and began like smashing up the Kazi's garden.
Hare Krishna!
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama.
All right.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
The Lord then sat down
Mashallah.
with the Chankazi, and the two discussed the comparative differences between the Quran and the Hindu scriptures.
My dear Francis, there's no need to kill the cow. Cow is your mother. She provides meals for you. You have to be kind for every living on the sea. Just be peaceful.
My dearly saintly persons, the way is written in your Vedas, same thing is written in our Quran also.
Yes, there is sacrifice in the Vedas, but
Gold.
the sacrifice of the animal becomes a human being after that. One becomes elevated to the platform of chanting Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna! My dear saintly persons, let me tell you one thing. When I broke your mridanga last night, I had a dream. What? In my dream appeared a very furious person, half lion and half man. He jumped on my chest and he ripped apart my chest. And he warned me if I ever stop this chanting of Hare Krishna Sankirtan Yagya in my town, he will rip apart my chest. I'm so scared.
Right.
Nishaye Bhagavan Ki!
Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu sent Nityananda Prabhu and Thakur Haridas door to door to preach the Srimad Bhagavatam.
Go and preach. Go and preach. All of us.
Please chant. Accept His holy name. Chant.
One day they were walking down the main road when they met with two brothers named Jagai and Madai who were creating a public disturbance.
Smart. You want a drink? Today, who are we gonna kill today? That person we're gonna kill that today. We will be gone today. Okay. Oh, you want a drink? Look at the goal, man.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Fall
Krishna.
down.
Hare Krishna.
Who are you?
Nityananda approached him in a very humble mood, thinking, right,
Who the hell are you, man?
I'm just your servant.
Drink something. Thank you.
Only one request. I have only one request. Please, chant the holy name of the Lord. Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Krishna himself.
You want to drink something? Can I top up? Who is your hairdresser, man? Hey, go, hey, let's
the
just
drunken brothers became enraged.
Let's go. Where is my bottle? Where? Give it to me. Should I just throw it on him?
The drunk-
Wait.
Nityan- in the evening, In the evening, Nityananda and Haridas reported their preaching work to Lord Chaitanya.
Lord Chaitanya. You want to know what happened to us?
Please let me know.
Had a dream.
We were going around distributing the holy name,
Yes.
begging people to accept it.
Very good.
And we saw these two drunkards.
Jagai and Madai.
Yeah.
Intoxicated.
Yeah. That's fantastic.
Speaking of sex. And drugs.
Rock and roll.
Just keep on doing. Keep on preaching.
We tried.
They're fallen soul. Keep on preaching to them. It's wonderful.
Shall we try again?
Yes, please. Go on. Hare Krishna.
Faith.
Who gonna kill today? Me gonna kill. If that person comes, I'm gonna kill.
I kill first.
I'm gonna kill her. Who's
I
that?
kill first. Otherwise I kill you.
The next day, Nityananda Prabhu went to see the brothers, and as soon as he approached them,
Why did you What you doing? What are you doing? They sent me. What?
I don't take offense.
No.
I don't take offense. I forgive you. Only one request. Please, chant the holy name.
What I know.
when Lord Chaitanya heard that Nityananda had been struck and injured, he at once hurried to the spot in an angry mood, invoking his
I'm
Sudarshan
gonna kill
chakra.
you! I'm going to kill you on the spot! You
no,
better
no,
than
no.
somebody will tell you! I'm going to kill you now!
Save me. No one. Please, Monica. Please.
No, my lord. Don't forget, you are the most merciful incarnation.
Yeah, yes.
The golden avatar.
Yes.
Please be merciful.
Yes.
At one condition! At one condition!
Only one condition.
Yes.
Stop!
Any condition.
On the
Please
spot!
put the Sudarshan.
Your sinful activities!
Please put the Sudarshan chakra.
Listen,
On that you chant the holy name of Hari!
listen now.
Hari.
Hare Krishna!
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna! Krishna Krishna!
Once Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, in devotional ecstasy, began to chant the holy names of the gopis instead of the names of the Lord.
Radha Vishaka, Radha Lalita, Radha Vishaka.
And when his students saw this,
Radha Lalita,
they became astonished, and out of sheer foolishness, they asked the Lord, why was he chanting the name?
Why are you chanting the names of the gopis? You should chant the names of Krishna. There's no proper.
The Lord, who was in ecstasy, was thus disturbed by these foolish students. He chastised them and chased them away. This incident provoked some malicious talks about the Lord on the part of the general public.
Rubbish talk.
Not approved by GPCT at all.
Only drunkards.
Yeah.
Yes. Only drunkards singing.
And when the Lord became aware of this, he began to consider,
My mission is to engage people to chant Hare Krishna. But I need to be creditable. Therefore, I need to take sannyas.
thus the Lord decided to accept the renounced order of life because the people in general were inclined to offer respects to a sannyasi. While he was contemplating accepting the renounced order of life, it so happened that Keshava Bharati, a sannyas of the Mayavad school, visited Navadweep.
Vivo!
How are you doing, Keshav? The Lord asked him to reward him sannyas. Keshav Bharati agreed and called for a barber. We need a barber.
Ali
Take your
Baba.
hand.
Yeah.
Okay. Use your finger scissors, you know. But he couldn't do it because the hair was too beautiful.
Yeah. Sally, I can't cut that hair. I can't cut your hair, it's too beautiful. Go on, cut some hair, cut some hair. Okay, I'll try.
But still he relented.
I can't. The scissors are gonna break.
But eventually the barber relented and began to cut. He shaved Chaitanya's hair with his own tears.
Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu ki!
Thank you, Baba. The Lord, after accepting sannyas, at once started for Vrindavan. But Lord Nityananda diverted his path. Okay, so let's get an initiated. It's more of a knighthood. Alright. After taking sannyas, he once started for Vrindavan. Although Nityananda diverted him to the house of Advaita Acharya in Shantipur. His mother actually met him at the house of Advaita Prabhu, and when she saw her son in sannyas dress, she lamented. She begged him, please make your headquarters in Puri,
Please make your headquarters in Puri
so I can easily get information about you.
so I can easily get information about you.
This body belongs to you.
It was raised by you.
It is raised by you.
It belongs to you.
I am indebted unto you.
Mother, I can repay you.
I can't repay you.
Millions of years. You taught me how to walk,
You told me how to walk,
how to speak.
how to speak,
I can never
how to
repay you.
eat, how to do everything. How can I repay you, mother? I will stay.
The Lord granted this last desire to his beloved mother. After this incident, the Lord started out for Puri, leaving all the residents of Navadweep in an ocean of lamentation over his separation. Who's in charge of the program?
It's Basil.
Oh, so we just keep going, yeah?
It's up there.
It's okay, fine.
All right. The Lord granted this desire. Oh, at Puri, he entered the temple of Jagannath. He at once became saturated with transcendental ecstasy. Jaya Jagannath! Jaya Jagannath! Oh, and he fell unconscious on the floor. The custodians of the temple could not understand the transcendental feat of the Lord and threatened to beat him. The custodians, they didn't understand the actual, that this was a transcendental state, and they thought it was some miscreant in the temple, and they began to harass him unnecessarily.
Hey man, wake up. Wake up. Oh, must be a drunkard. Hey, colleague, come please. Someone is just unconscious here. Yeah. Hey, stop! What are you doing? He looks like a sannyasi. He's effulgence.
The Lord was at once carried to the home of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who was a great pundit in the
Please
area.
bring him to my home, please.
He was the dean of faculty in the Sanskrit literatures. And he was carried a short distance to the house of the Bhattacharya. Sarvabhauma tested He was momentarily revived, but then fell unconscious again. Sarvabhauma tested Chaitanya as a scientist. He observed the movement of his stomach, the beating of his heart, the breathing of his nostrils. They also felt the pulse of the Lord, and saw that all bodily features were in complete suspension. When he put a small cotton swab before the nostrils, he found that there was slight movement. Breathing, as the fine fibers of the cotton moved slightly. Thus, he came to know the Lord's unconscious trance was genuine, and he began to treat him in the prescribed manner. But the Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu could only be treated in one special way, and which way was that?
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna.
Nityananda appeared on the scene with the elephant's casket. He chanted, the Lord was slowly revived from his slumber.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
The Lord regained his consciousness. After this, Bhattacharya received all the members of the party and arranged for their residence and meals at the house of Kashi Mishra. The Bhattacharya desired that Lord Chaitanya also hear about the teachings of Vedanta, for this is the duty of the sannyas. The Lord agreed to take lessons from the Bhattacharya on Vedanta, and they sat together in the temple of Lord Jagannath. The Bhattacharya was speaking continually for 7 days, and the Lord heard him with all attention and did not interrupt. The Lord's silence raised some doubts, and the Bhattacharya spoke as follows.
My dear sannyasi, I've been talking for the last 7 days, but I've noticed you've been hearing so peacefully. Looks like you don't have any questions. It says in the Shastras, if you don't have any questions, if you don't raise any questions, that means you didn't understand anything. So please tell me, if you have any questions, why are you so quiet for 7 days?
The Vedanta Sutra are perfect. They are like a dazzling sun. But your interpretation is like a cloud covering such a sun.
The Lord thus attacked all Vedantists who interpret the Vedanta Sutra according to their own limited power and thinking to serve their own purpose. Chaitanya went on to explain the source of personality.
The source of personality come from a personal. If you are a person, if you have a form, it means that your origin, your source, it's also a person and a form.
He then explained how the Lord glanced over the material nature.
When the Lord glanced into the creation, there were nothing existed. It proves that the glance of the Lord is not material, but spiritual, transcendental.
The Bhattacharya tried to defend himself and his Mayavad school by jugglery of logic and grammar, but the Lord defeated him with his forceful arguments. Chaitanya explained about bhakti and devotion.
Bhakti, devotion, is the highest perfection of human life.
He then quoted a sloka from the Bhagavatam, the Atmaram verse. The liberated souls who are absorbed in spirit and spiritual realization also take to devotional service of Lord Hari, because the personality of Godhead has such transcendental qualities that he attracts the heart of liberated souls as well. The Bhattacharya then explained the sloka in 9 different ways. The Lord, after hearing the Bhattacharya, thanked him for his scholarly presentation, and then explained the sloka in 64 ways, without touching the 9 explanations given by Bhattacharya. Thus, after hearing the explanation of the Atmaram sloka from the Lord, the Bhattacharya was convinced that such a scholarly presentation is impossible for an earthly creature. He then surrendered unto him, repenting his past dealings with him. And out of his causeless mercy, the Lord manifested First, his four-armed form as Narayan.
Shri Gauranga Mahaprabhu Ke!
And then his two-handed form of Lord Krishna.
Shri Krishna Bhagavan Ke!
Bhattacharya fell down at his lotus feet and composed 100 slokas in praise of the Lord. The Lord then embraced him, and the Bhattacharya became ecstatic and began shivering, and then lost consciousness. Sarvabhauma exhibited ecstatic emotions, like tears. Ecstatic tears. Trembling, like more. Serious trembling. Really went out with the trembling, huh? His heart began beating in his chest. And then he began sweating. Right.
My Lord.
Emotional waves took over him.
Hare
Waves,
Krishna.
waves of ecstasy.
Hare Krishna. Hare
Began
Krishna,
dancing and singing.
Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Krishna Krishna. Hare Hare. Hare Rama. Hare Rama. Rama Rama. Hare Hare.
All right, thank you very much.